the baby epiphyte up there. If you look. I think I'm going to have a closer look. Look here, this little seedling is a baby strangling fig. Let me explain. If the seed of a strangling fig is carried by a bird or an animal, this seed is initially deposited at the top of this host tree. Yeah, now figs are laxatives. You know what that means, little gooey stuff. Yeah? And when it's deposited here and trapped debris along with it, the initial stage of a fig here is like an epiphyte, just like an epiphyte, obtaining its nutrients from the host tree. But when it's established itself like that, it begins to drop a single root down. Because this mild-looking plant eventually becomes a monster. This monster, this strangling fig, is what really turned me on to the rainforest. It seemed to symbolize for me all the majesty and all the terror of nature. That incredible desire all living things have to make life, to dominate their little patch of earth. And these mighty trunks seem to me to be the very pillars that hold up my temple. The temple of the forest. So from this delicate little epiphyte, slender roots reach out, searching for Mother Earth. And when the root finally reaches the ground, it begins to do its deadly intent, competing for the food down below with the host tree. In the middle, it begins to wrap itself around the host, strangling the host, and way at the top there, it takes the sun away. These three factors eventually kills this host. It's incredible to think that that beautiful little plant, so tiny, could, over time, envelop even the tallest, even the thickest, largest tree and strangle it to death. Bad strangling fig. That little tiny sapling placed up on a tree there, it's now this bizarre lattice work. I just can't believe it. Look at it. In here was once a house. And that house, this bit of house is here. It's rotten, as you can see. Yeah? Just in there. And now the strangling fig is the master. It has now become the most amazing tree in the rainforest. Many things will be living in it. It will be home to snakes, to lizards, to spiders, to scorpions. Up there will be host to other epiphytes. I know I said it's a bad tree, but let me say it was very misleading, because the strangling fig is the most important tree in the whole forest. This little fig is the reason. That is the most important, most sought after food source in our rainforest. Every animal in the rainforest wants that. So this war is a war nobody wins. No individual plant wins completely, because all the plants in the tropical rainforest depend on each other and depend on the very war itself, the war for water and the war for sunlight to survive. This war is a good war. Today, we've seen epiphytes, we've seen hemiepiphytes, and we've seen some parasites. We've seen their similarities, we've seen their differences and their strategies for survival. We saw the bird's nest fern, that's an epiphyte, that just requires a host tree up there for its sunlight and taking all its nourishment it needs just from the air. Then we see the hemiepiphyte that spends a high portion of its life up there, but also sending down little roots to take some nourishment from the ground. And finally that parasite, the mistletoe we saw, how that tree just puts its roots into its host, drains the life out of it, not totally, because it's in the interest of that parasite that it doesn't totally kill the host. And this tree, my favorite tree of all, the strangling fig, that is, for part of its life, its early part of its life, a epiphyte. It then becomes an hemiepiphyte. And finally, this amazing, magnificent specimen of a tree. I love it. I love it, and I can't get enough of it.